any startup, any founder will always go through motions and think whether I'm doing the right thing, whether this will work, whether this will be successful. I'm sure you would have gone through those motions as well. So how did you keep yourself motivated? One. Secondly, at what moment you realized that yes, this is the thing and I am on the path of doing something which is actually going to make a difference, or for the fact that it's going to be a successful startup. So one, how do you realize, what are the moments you went through? And secondly, when do you realize that it's a successful startup?
So one part of it is generally when you have co-founders, it's good to have co-founders in a startup, and it's good to have good investors in a startup, so that your anxiety, your burden, all those things can be shared, and you have a sounding board,
right?
Which is very, very important. That too, because it is always lonely at the top.
True.
How much ever you say, it is very, very hard for first-time entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurs who doesn't have business background. Like my parents they don't come from business background, they come from agriculture, farming, plantation background, so they have no idea of how to build a company or something,
right.
or they have no idea how to bring a capital in case if I run out of money.
Right.
So first time entrepreneurs have to have a solid team of co-founders and solid investors, no going on that, and then it's very important to ensure that you build a very open culture in the company, so that communication is very seamless. There is no interpolitics in the company, so that your message gets across. Same way the other people who have issues, that message will come very fast. It will not have layers of it. So we had a flat organization.
Okay.
We did not have a hierarchy.
Right.
In the corporate culture that will not work, but in a startup culture that will work, because you want quick feedback if something is going wrong.
Makes sense.
And more often than not, things will go wrong.
True.
Unless it has become like a $1 billion unicorn. That journey, it is always better to keep the organization flat.
Right.
Flatter the organization at the founder level, you will be able to get the feedback very fast. You know where it is going wrong. If you have to make any cross correction, you can quickly make the cross correction. That is the only reason why flat organizations are important. Once it has stability, then you can build multi-department, you can build a hierarchy around it, you can scale around that. But initially it's always better to keep the flat organization.
Right. So you spoke about an interesting word there, culture.
Yes.
I think for any startup, culture is very important, right? So also it depends on what kind of culture you build. So one, how do you define what culture you want to build? Secondly, how do you go about building it? And thirdly, how do you make sure that the people who come into the company are actually the one who will fit that culture?
So when we looked into the aspect of culture, it is very important to define the culture. So it is very, very important to define the culture from the people's experience. So what we looked at is we wanted to be humble, and we want to have the people who are like us, first time entrepreneurs who doesn't come from lot of baggage, and who are eager to prove something. There is a chip on the shoulder. There is a raw passion.
Right.
So what we look at is those kind of people, and hiring was directly done at the founder level.
Right.
We did not outsource hiring to any hiring agency, or we did not have HR. We did not have HR even till time of acquisition. Like HR was only for the payroll purposes. Most of the employee increment or discussion was directly done at the level of the founders.
Interesting.
Which is very important, so that we set the examples right. We listen to what is happening in the company, so that if there are any cross correction required, it's very important. And hiring is very, very important at the founder level, at the startup level, because as they say, the culture eats strategy for the breakfast.
Right.
You can make any kind of strategy, any kinds of plans, but if you don't have the right people at the right place, nothing gets executed.
Got it.
And to have the right people at the right place, it is the fundamental role of the founders to bring the right people.
Got it.
It is not, that is the one area that I strongly believe cannot be outsourced in the initial building of the company. It can be outsourced later point in time, as let's say after 100 people or 200 people, but on the initial level, I think that's how you set the culture. You say culture is actually driven from the top.
Okay.
By the founders.
Got it.
They set the vision, they set the culture, to the organization.
Right. So have you fired people who didn't fit the culture? And
Yes,
how did
we
you
have.
evaluate that they are not the right fit?
Well, when somebody is not fitting the culture, it's actually easy in a flat organization
evident, okay.
because it comes up very fast. As I said, if it was a hierarchical organization, then somebody will complain to somebody. You easily know if you're interacting one-on-one and talking to them on a day-to-day basis. You know how their performance are. You know
Right.
whether they are the right fit, whether they are gelling well with the team or not.
Right.
So other people also will talk about them. So it's easy. We have to let go of people.
Okay.